Grab the popcorn and the remote, movie fans. Another banner year for Hollywood, this one marked by the release of an unprecedented number of movies in theaters both large and small. This year, the online streaming giant Netflix published 77 of its own original films in the English language, providing subscribers with everything from comedies that will make them laugh out loud to huge tearjerkers to the best horror movies that will be available on Netflix in 2022. But which movies on Netflix did you think were the greatest in 2022? The following are the top 10 best movies that were available on Netflix in 2022. However, before we begin our countdown, we would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel Movie Mania and also press the bell icon. Let's get started. Number 10. The Wonder. This aesthetically breathtaking drama transports viewers to a little Irish village in the year 1862. When an English nurse played by Florence Pugh is investigating a wonder child who claims she hasn't eaten food for 4 months and has instead been sustaining herself only on manna from heaven. But in this subtly unsettling movie, not everything is as it seems. The girl and her very religious family are keeping a horrible secret from the outside world. The nurse, who is still suffering from her own traumatic experience, is faced with the choice of either adhering to the rules established by the leaders of the village or doing everything in her power to save the kid from probable death. Even if it's just to see Florence Pugh sparkle once more, the show is well worth seeing. Number 9. Wedding Season. When the mothers of first-generation Indians begin to interfere in their children's romantic relationships, you know you're in for a hilariously good time. This is a sure sign. This sweet romantic comedy is built on that very premise. Two New Yorkers who are focused on their careers and whose mothers try to set them up on dates during the wedding season in order to give them a respite from the pressure from their parents. You may probably anticipate the outcome of the story, but in spite of the fact that it follows a formula that you've seen before, you'll still find yourself cheering for the protagonists to end up together, this time for good. Number 8. Do Revenge. You'll love this witty black comedy about two girls who become outcasts at their school and decide to band up to get revenge on their rival if you're a fan of dark teen dramas from the 1980s like the cult classic Heathers. At first, you'll feel sympathy for them, but as the plot thickens and thickens, you won't be able to figure out who the really bad guys are. It's a story about friendships and betrayals, but even though it's about teenagers, you shouldn't watch it with anyone less than 13 because it deals with topics related to drug use and sexual activity. Number 7. Love and Gelato. This is the perfect film for you to see if you're in the mood for a feel-good romantic comedy that doesn't require too much deep thought on your part. Love and Gelato follows Lena, a young woman of 17 years old whose mother is terminally ill and has persuaded her to go to Italy and have a summer like the one her mother had when she was young. Lena is determined to fulfill her mother's dying wish. During her time there, she experiences life, love, and adventure, and falls in love with not one but two potential romantic partners, and Gelato, obviously. As Lena juggles the love entanglements she's created for herself and her hunt for the father she's never known, you'll be whisked away to the stunning city of Rome. The movie is light, airy, and has a pleasant taste, like vanilla ice cream. Number 6. Luckiest Girl Alive. Based on Jessica Knoll's 2015 best-selling suspense novel of the same name, Luckiest Girl Alive tells the story of a magazine writer living in New York City who has created the perfect life for herself, complete with the perfect job, the perfect looks, and the perfect wealthy fiancé. However, she begins to suspect that her life may not be as perfect as it seems. Everyone believes that she must have been extremely fortunate to have survived a school shooting when she was in high school, a shooting in which several of her classmates were slain. However, she is keeping a secret from everyone, and not everybody thinks that she is as innocent as she seems to be. This suspense movie gets tense as the protagonist's picture-perfect existence begins to fall apart. You will be unable to move from the couch as you anxiously await the big unveiling. Number 5. The Good Nurse. The aspect of The Good Nurse that gives me the creeps the most. It's not fiction, it's based on real events. It follows the life of Charles Cullen, a nurse played by Eddie Redmayne, who, at first glance, seems to be a good-natured and giving individual. But a coworker figures out that he has been murdering patients when a string of unexplained deaths occurs among his patients while he is on duty. The most unbelievable aspect of the whole thing? The actual occurrences Cullen worked as a registered nurse for 16 years across dozens of institutions, but the exact number of patients he killed will likely never be discovered. Redmayne has a flawless performance as the boy who seems to be innocent Cullen, while Chastain amplifies the suspense with her performance as the character who is working to expose Cullen. You will walk away from the movie with one question on your mind: how could he? Number 4. Hustle. Once again, Adam Sandler plays the role of a man whose professional life is falling apart despite the fact that he has heart and drive. In the movie Hustle, he plays the role of a basketball scout for the Philadelphia 76ers who stumbles upon an incredible talent. While observing locals in Spain playing pickup basketball games, he brings the baller to the United States and tries to get him drafted into the NBA, but his new recruit requires a lot of training before he can be ready for the league. There are many ups and downs along the way, but everything culminates in an inspiring victory in the end, as is the case with the vast majority of sports stories. Number 3. Enola Holmes 2. The sequel to 2020 Enola Holmes is every bit as captivating as the first film in the series, and it's one of the most enjoyable films that the whole family can watch together on Netflix in 2022. Millie Bobby Brown is charming in the role of the young investigator from the Victorian era. She is not as well known as her renowned brother, but she is just as astute as he is. The young detective works on the case of a missing girl in Enola Holmes 2, which is based on an original screenplay and not an adaptation of the Enola Holmes adolescent book series. The investigation leads the young detective to a famous match factory, which is based on a factory that actually existed. After experiencing a crippling illness known as Phossy Jaw, workers at the actual factory went on strike in 1888 over concerns about the safety of the workplace. Many of the striking workers were teenage girls. Consider the sequel to Enola Holmes, which readers voted by a majority of 58% to be the best Netflix movie of 2022, to be a mystery with an element of history. Number 2. The Gray Man. Before becoming one of the most watched films on Netflix in 2018, this high-adrenaline thriller, which was adapted from the novel The Gray Man, which was published in 2009, had been in various stages of production for the previous decade. If you watch the movie, though, you will be satisfied with the casting choices that were made. Chris Evans is outstanding in his role as the antagonist, an agent who has been recruited to join the CIA's top-secret assassin program is the focus of the suspenseful and action-packed thriller. When corrupt practices are exposed to the public and a sociopath killer gets wind of them, things quickly move from bad to worse. It's a popcorn drama of the first order, packed to the gills with unexpected turns right up until the very end. Number 1. The Adam Project. It has been verified. 61% of our readers voted for this high-budget time-hopping picture to capture the top spot as the best movie that can be found on Netflix in 2018. It was supposed to go into production in 2012, with Tom Cruise attached to play the lead role, but due to complications with the development of the project, it remained unmade until Netflix saved it in the year 2020. The main character, played by Ryan Reynolds, is a dissatisfied fighter pilot who, in the year 2050, returns back in time to try to save his wife from an untimely death. He has no control over the crash landing and finds himself in the year 2022, where he is confronted by his younger self. The two embark on a journey that takes them through multiple time periods and pits them against terrible rulers from the far future. Think of it as a contemporary update of the classic film Back to the Future, but one that features slightly more bloodshed, a great deal more action, and humor that is guaranteed to win over any teenage lads who may be in the audience. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel Movie Mania. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching and see you next time.